Another thing that piqued my interest when watching the TV spots was Carly's encounter with Megatron, and I was like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It turns out, and I'm gonna explain this hopefully when I explain the plot. Turns out that Megatron's just sitting there, just like annoyed and ticked off as he is because Sentinel betrayed him and whatnot, and just Carly, I have to admit, she has a lot of guts. Like Michaela, who was Megan Fox's character, we all remember from the second movie, before Megatron slams Sam on that table slab and like claws him to the table before. Like, the look on her face is just pure terror. Just pure terror. And that's what Carly had for a few minutes, but she was taking the risk. And she got guts. And just, basically, she, like, I don't know if it was seducing, but just she told him, like, oh, you finally got control of the planet, and Sentinel's taking over, you leader of the Decepticons are not having the honor. And let's just say he was almost on the verge. Like, his face was like literally this close to her, and his claws were just, yeah. Oh man. It's really emotional in this one as well. Unlike the last two, there was some emotion in the first one, not emotion at all because the story was so bad in the second one. There's some really tight emotions, especially with the Optimus and just the Autobots. There's really heartfelt emotions, and I literally was almost on the verge of tears in some bits, and just, yeah, emotions are very powerful in this one. It makes your heart tug just a little bit. All right, Shockwave. I personally do not like Shockwave. I'm not that far in the original series yet, but just his his devotion to logic is ridiculous in the original. He's so loyal to Megatron. It's just personally, I have a little contest for you guys on the comments. Which do you think is Shockwave more loyal to? Logic or the Decepticons? You guys, I'll let you just talk about that amongst yourselves. In the trailers, they made him look legitly cool. Like, you'd think that he would say, like, awesome bad guy lines. And this is where the disappointment comes in. The one line that he says is Optimus. The first time we see him. That is it. That is all he says. He's voiced by Frank Welker, who also does Soundwave in this. I was just, like, you went through all the trouble of making him look so cool in the trailers, you didn't bother letting him have some few lines? And he wasn't even the main villain, as they said. The real villain was Sentinel Prime, and just, I was not happy. I was not sorry for him when he died. Like, personally to me, he deserved it. And the one thing I actually liked about this is that they made him a solo guy. He didn't like go to Megatron and whatnot, which I was personally happy. Alrighty, I'm finally at the voices. The voices, basically for the Autobots, it's the same, including Bumblebee. And yes, he still uses the radio. I thought they would get past that by now. The Decepticons. Like I said, Hugo Weaving does an awesome Megatron. I don't care what anyone else says. And Starscream, oh man. Let's just say that Starscream, people thought his voice in the second one was bad. I personally like his voice in the first, second, and third because people, remember, he said only 2 spoken lines in the first 2. That's it. The rest was just him with those Cybertronian language translated to English. That was it for the first one. And I liked his voice. Soundwave, this is probably going to get a lot of comments. Soundwave, Frank Welker voicing him again. I'm so happy they were loyal to that. They didn't vocode it. I thought after they got so much bad reviews on the second one, I thought they were just gonna vote it. Just a little. Basically, it was Frank Welker doing his Dr. Claw voice. It sounds like this. It's a miracle on how he does it. That's my best impression I can do. They didn't vote it. They just didn't. Laserbeak voice was really cool. Personally, I think he's better in this than he is in G1 because he's basically like a cassette tape, basically. All in all, the voices were really cool, very awesome. Finally, I get to the story. Just some of it. I am not spoiling it much. Basically, it takes like a few months after the second one, the Decepticons being ticked off at their defeat of the second film in Egypt. Basically, Sam, he broke up with Michaela. How they broke up, I personally do not know. And Carly's just giving him a big stuffed rabbit to give him good luck, and I thought that scene was cute. And Wheelie and Brain being just being themselves. And he's embarrassed. His parents come around, and in this big moving train wearing matching outfits, they're being just embarrassing as ever. Along the lines of that, they go to this abandoned Russian factory where they find this ball thing off of the Ark, which is a tribute from the original film, that the Ark was the ship that they came on in the first episode of the original series. I'm glad they slipped that in there. And let's just say, we also meet the drill, which is this big, massive drill thing that Shockwave keeps as a pet. Yeah, a pet. It just, literally, it destroys anything in its path. It even got a building in half. That's how powerful it is. Until it was killed by Optimus. Woo! And just to sum it up, the Decepticons, basically Sentinel thought that by joining the Decepticons they would save their home planet. He thinks the humans are like worthless, and basically they're these like column thingies that activate this like space bridge. Where basically all they do for this is basically they pull Cybertron from its magnetic field down to our planet, and like I said earlier, to make us into slaves. And along the lines of this, we meet Patrick Dempsey's character, which I personally did not like him, as I said earlier, not one bit. It keeps you on the seat. If you want, it's like 2 hours long. It's worth it. It's worth it. There are moments where there are moments you think some of your characters might die, and among all this, the Autobots leave. And funny thing is that don't watch this video because this is a spoiler. There are some spoilers in this. The Autobots survive, and that is actually a little hint tribute to one of the episodes. I don't remember which one it is. It's like probably in the second or third season of the original, where basically they fake their death when they're in this rocket going into space. They fake their death. And I was like crying, almost on the verge of tears, like they can't abandon them, and yeah. It's a very, very good film. All in all, it's basically the story summary, just like a nutshell of it. It's basically us, it's like humans fight for survival. It's us against thousands, 200 Decepticons for the right for our planet. Even against humans who might join with them. And some of them are forced to work for them. If not, they're gonna die. Yeah. It's a really, really good story. Comparing it to the second one, this one, it puts the second one to shame. For story, it literally does. If I know I haven't said much of the story, but since this is only review, I can only tell parts of it because I don't want to spoil it for the rest of you. See ya, YouTube. This is my Transformers review, the first one on here. Put comments on the bottom and do my thing about Shockwave and loyalty to Megatron sort of thing. You guys are going to love it. For anyone who's fans of Transformers, you guys are going to love it. Bye!